Hello and thanks for staying with us. The Nigerian Customs Service continue to seize goods from smugglers operating across the nation's border. Also on customs report, a stakeholder speaks on customs operation at the airport, plus more report. I am Igeseme Edinye. Stay tuned. The Customs Area Controller in charge of Upper Customs Command has been speaking on the revenue drive of the customs as mandated by the management of Nigerian Customs Service. The Customs Controller said that the 2018 collection of the service will continue to increase. He also said that customs will not spare any importer that want to bring in any consignment without proper documentation at the port.
On Tuesday, the 6th of February 2018, based on credible intelligence from Customs Intelligence Unit, Apapa Area Command, 3 by 40-foot container with numbers MRSU 3637149, 61 MRKU 6196764, MRSU 3516384, imported by one Villa Gold Pharmacy from India, were suspected to contain controlled drugs. The said containers were examined and found to contain different pharmaceutical products, stroke drugs, which are controlled and regulated from importation into the country. The drugs include those ones that are contained in MRS 3637149, contain 936 cartons of tramadol hydrochloride tablet, 56 cartons of cold stock chlorophenyramine melite capsules, 4 milligrams. Container number 2, MRKU, contain 368 cartons of tramadol capsules, 120 milligrams in content. 192 cartons of tramadol capsules, 250 milligrams. 160 cartons of Dubotol analgesic. Container number 3, MRSU, contains 554 cartons of tramadol capsules, BP 120 milligram, 176 cartons of Colcap. Number 4, similarly on the 7th February 2018, yet another 1 by 40-foot container, MRKU, 6058282, suspected to be laden with prohibited drugs, was arrested and found to contain the following pharmaceuticals. There are 200 cartons of tramadol, 222 milligrams, 330 cartons of Ibramol, chest and lungs tablet, 15 milligrams, 198 cartons of cold capsules, 4 milligrams, and 453 cartons of Raleigh Extra, 50 milligrams. The duty paid value of the 440-foot containers stood at 110,600,524 naira only. Consequent upon this, and troubled by the present level of insecurity in the country, one wonders what negative impact would have resulted in the aftermath of these drugs finding their ways into the larger society. However, one person was arrested in connection with these seizures and has been granted administrative bail while investigation is still ongoing. In the aspect of revenue, I'm glad to inform you that the command also took off on a good note and hit the ground running. As in the month of January, the command collected a total sum of 31 billion 0.15 as against 25.9, which was collected in the year that just ended, 2017. This shows an increase of 51 billion. It is, however, worthy to note that the annual target for the Apapa Area Command in 2018 is 426 billion, or 35.5 billion naira monthly. Judging by the way we started, I believe, God's willing, we will do everything within the confines of the law to meet and even surpass our 2018 revenue target.
He also took time to answer questions from reporters.
Our challenges is to do, is artificial. It's to do with the human beings that we work along with. All of us are not equal. Some are always ready, to picking up corrections, making amends, and then respecting the laws as they were. And some of us is still nature, that some, will also want to comply or adhere to the rules and regulations, but their level of adherence will not be as equal as those others. So we are faced with the challenges of persuading everybody, to be compliant. Because as you know, in the business of clearing of consignment, infractions are always to start at the trader zone. Most infractions start at the trader zone before they could get into the custom zone. And so what we are always saying is for people to be compliant at that level. Let the importer make correct declaration and make sure that his documentation is perfected, and what is in all the documentary evidences is also what is also what are contained in the containers. You see, the government, the Nigeria Customs Service as a unit is making serious plans to increase the number of the scanners, one, and secondly, to introduce the NICE's platform. So when you put these two things together, what it will just translate into fast tracking of cargo clearance. And I can assure you that is exactly what you will get.
The chairman of Association of Nigerian Licensed Customs Agents operating at the airport has been speaking on the way forward why the Nigerian Customs Service will continue to cooperate with freight forwarders operating at the airport.
The most interesting thing since this new dispensation, what I mean by this new government of change, is the leadership of the custom management. The new leadership structure in customs where a disciplined officer is now the helm of customs. And I think that has brought a lot of sanity and discipline in the service. The way of doing things now, the way of operations has drastically changed, unlike what we used to have before.
To the issue of your understanding of the clearance of consignment here.
The clearance procedure at the airport, yes, we can look at it from two sides. In the first place, it is supposed to be very fast, considering the type of the kind of freight importers are subjected to pay, because cargoes that are supposed to come in are supposed to be emergency cargoes, hence the freight paid on them. But at times, you discover that some of the cumbuses and documentation procedures, at times waiting for parts that will take time to arrive, vis-a-vis some logistics problems too. But having said that, I think in the recent past now, we've seen a near change, a very, very drastic change in the speed. I think it is more faster now, unlike before. And that has to do with what I've earlier told you. See, where people are working with discipline, the tendency for things to move seamlessly is there. So I think there's likely an improvement, unlike before.
Yes. As the chairman of ANACA here, are there areas in which you people want the government to take a look at that will further increase the revenue in your own sector?
Yes. I like this question, and this is actually what we have been clamoring for. Airport users are either predominantly people that use machineries that are needed urgently, and the other group of people are all these informal traders like Idumata, all these women that patronize Dubai, China, pick things from different shops to come and sell here. So we have been trying to put across to the customer that this type of trade, since they are informal in nature, may not demand some of these documentary processes. The valuation officials should be allowed to look at when they come at the point of entry or at the warehouse. They should be able to look at it, assess values, and collect on spot. So that this one will save time, taking cognizance that these traders have already paid a lot of freight in bringing those things in. Moreover, these are some of the things that are equally urgently needed in the markets. Nigeria is still an import-oriented country, so such goods from China, Dubai, other areas, they don't pick it from a particular place. The women, the trade, they will visit different shops and pick them differently. So by the time you begin to wait for, you must get this document, you must get this power before you indulge in the clearance procedure, it takes time. So I'm using this medium now to appeal. It's an appeal, though it's against the custom procedure. But there are situations that demands emergency attention. So why not we give it that way? Yes, there are import guidelines. There are import prohibition lists as like the exports too. Importers should be guided. You should be able to know when you want to travel to bring in things. Supposed to either consult your clearing agent or go to the custom websites to know those things you are not expected to bring. Because if you bring them in, definitely the government will seize them. So a would-be importer is supposed to be guided either by his clearing agents or even if you are not internet enough, you can go to any custom command, to any of the help desk to ask for those things that are prohibited. I think the CG, since he's coming in, came at the right time because we're in a change mantra. This is a change government, and he has brought a lot of changes in custom. I must give that to him. People may not see it, but we in the profession knows that things are not more the way it used to be. In fact, the fear of Hamid Ali in customs is the beginning of you to do the right thing. So, if only that is what he has introduced in customs, I think he has done a lot of jobs. So, outsiders may not see what he's doing, but we insiders knows that the man has made a lot of tremendous changes in the customs service.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The Customs Area Controller in charge of Ogun State Command has continued to intercept vehicles that have been smuggled into the country. Various items intercepted include motorbike, foreign rice, kegs of vegetable oil, second-hand shoes, bags with duty-paid value of 154 million naira. The controller added that the customs service is doing all it could to end smuggling in Nigeria. Among the seized items is a Toyota Highlander 2014 suspected to have been smuggled into Nigeria in the process. Leading to the seizure, an officer sustained a life-threatening injury from the smugglers.
They normally use floaters in crossing vehicles to Nigeria. They saw us and they attacked our boys that are on their side where the vehicle arrived. They started using machete and axe on my officers. We were trying to reinforce ourselves. Before we got there, they have wounded our officer, but we were able to bring this vehicle you are seeing. That is the story about this vehicle. However, we are on their trail. We cannot leave this kind of thing. We are calling on well-meaning Nigerians, especially good citizens of Ogun State. The customs is warning them, the bad eggs, we will not fold our arms and we will not be intimidated. Please, the public should help us. Give us information. Give us support so that we will get at these smugglers. Smuggling is a deadly business and they are attacking us now. I'm calling on the traditional rulers. I'm calling on the religious leaders. I'm calling on every well-meaning Nigerian, especially the citizens, good citizens of Ogun State, that they should please warn their words. We are watching them. We are looking. And we have blocked every possible means of smuggling now in Ogun State.
He said that officers will continue to exercise their functions in line with the rules of engagement of the service. He decried how smugglers have devised a new method of writing petitions against officers to distract them from performing their duty.
This Vela Range Rover is 2018, that is for this year. Successfully, the custom officers from Ogun Area Command were on a routine patrol within the state. We came into contact with this vehicle. We were lucky, we intercepted it. We were able to get the key because when they got out of the car, they jumped into the bush. We were lucky they left the key on the floor. We didn't know we were trying to vandalize the vehicle and get it. Because you can see, when you lock the car, even the handle is not even there for you to see. The handle will always go into the vehicle. This is a unique car. This is the car, this is the seizure of the month. We have not seized anything that is this. Duty paid value of this vehicle is over 52 million naira. So this is the car for the privileged few. You can hardly see this in every house. You see this kind of vehicles in selected homes. But my surprise here is this vehicle, you have the money to buy a vehicle that is worth over 50 million naira and you don't want to pay government a kobo. How selfish some Nigerians can be. This is sickening. This is disturbing. These are real unpatriotic Nigerians. They have the money, they don't want to pay tax. And every day they will say, government has not done road, government has not done this. And you are running away with the money belonging to federal government, state government, and local governments of Nigeria.
The customs controller later warned some villagers over smuggling activities in their various villages. The International Customs Day celebration, which took place in Abuja, has continued to generate a lot of discussions in the maritime sector of the Nigerian economy. The Speaker of the House of Rep, who was represented by a retired controller of customs and also a member of the House, has this to say.
We are talking about today's topic or theme, a secure business environment for economic development. We are aware that by the time we unfold the various definitions of what are here today, we know that the CGA and the customs officers and men are doing their best. More so when we look at the secure business environment as involving the auditing of business continuity plans, and again assessing the security standards to see whether the standards you are applying here in Nigeria meet the international standard. I think when we see the context of what the Secretary of the WCO, represented by this chief, had just mentioned about the enabling environment, about the safe environment, about the fair and sustainable environment, you can conclude that the Nigerian Customs Service have actually done their best and they're doing their best. I think, having worked in the intelligence unit of customs for years, the CG of customs and some of my colleagues here present At least from controller general, from the controller to ACG to DCG, we know what I'm saying. So we should try as much as possible not to rock the boat, especially when we leave the service. It is on this note, the CG and the civil ladies and gentlemen, that I want to thank the Chief of Defense Staff for doing what most of us are supposed to be doing, to see that Nigeria Customs Service, in the words of Winston Churchill, does not progress backwards. So I want to assure you of our continued support for the National Assembly and wish you well.
While the ACG in charge of ICT has this to say.
WCO is an international organization that all world custom organizations are tied into. And if we in Nigeria Customs Service, particularly in the modernization department of Nigeria Customs Service, had contributed so much to make sure that the trade facilitation that WCO champion, it is being driven by our modernization programs, then it's a thing of a joy. And as I said earlier, we are moving higher to making sure that compliant trade is done at the comfort of any trader in Nigeria. The collection of duty, we want it to be done such a way that it is very simple, it's very easy, and it's predictable. And make sure that anybody who wants to invest in Nigeria knows that when it comes to Nigeria Customs Service, we are upping our games. We are deepening our own strategy of modernizing every single procedure that relates to trade. As you know, the new program we have on ground, which is the full automation on Nigeria Customs Service, by delivering a paperless custom organization where you have zero paper. Everything will be done by the system. And you know, in such an environment where we will assist in fighting corruption. Because most of the corruption that is being attached to custom is when things are done manual, when things are not transparent, when you cannot know the beginning and the end, and then when people have too much discretion to undertake certain things. But with digitalization of our business environment, we know that such discretionary powers and transparency will come to bear, and then we reduce corruption, and secondly, we increase investment.
We now bring the last part of the interview we held with the controller in charge of semi-border, where jerrycans of petrol were intercepted.
We decided to strategize our operation by monitoring all the trucks coming towards the border. To stop before the bridge, we check their documents. The genuine ones, we give one officer to go and offload and make sure they sell before we release another one. So we discovered these two are going to the same place we arrested those jerrycans. If you can see the name and address, European Global Limited, that is the name of the filling station close to the creek, where they used to upload and put in the jerrycan and cross it. Along Yekinmi Pashi Road, that is after Ode, you enter into the bush. That's exactly where it is. So these two are diversion to the place where they're going to do the bunkering to cross it to the other neighboring country. That's why we detain it now. The issue here is that the government should do something about it to regularize at least the number of filling stations in the border side. We have a filling station which is just 50 meters away from the border. Then I think my advice is regulation. If the federal government can build like 2 mega stations, one for semi-exit, the other one for Badagry, for Owode side. How many of them? All of them are not up to 10,000 people. Then imagine the allocation. The truck they're allocating to them is more than the number of the community living there. Some of them don't even have cars. They have motorcycle. A gallon of petrol for motorcycle can last for 1 week. So the federal government should come in here, come and see the number of filling stations, regularize, at least make it, minimize it, and let them not be too close to the border. Because you can't expect a customer arresting rice and smuggling, doing this, and then you go back and do DPR work again. Because I don't have enough officers that are present to each police station to start monitoring this police station fuel. Now this control measure we have done, we block a lot of them. Whoever has intention of doing bad things, will stop at it. He decided to go back. A lot of them has gone back. A lot of them have decided to sell on the roadside because there's no way for them at this time of border.
Just before I run up this week edition of the program, Customs Report, we brought you a report where a brand new Range Rover of 2018 was intercepted by men of Nigerian Customs Service along the creek in Ogun State. For me, Igeseme Edie, thanks for watching.